Dark secret of Dubai: sex, prostitution. Dubai is one of the toughest, most well-known centers of modern slavery and human trafficking. Beneath the glittering facade of a paradise in the desert lurks a cruel and lethal system of recruitment, transportation, transfer, kidnapping and defrauding of human beings, mostly women, by means of the threat of force, or the actual use of force, as well as other types of coercion. The purpose of the system is exploitation for the purpose of prostitution, other types of sexual exploitation, forced labor or employment in conditions of slavery. The majority of women working as prostitutes in the United Arab Emirates, UAE, are victims of human or sex trafficking. Some are victims of both. Prostitution is an established and growing industry in the country, with The Guardian reporting in 2010 that an estimated 30,000 prostitutes worked in the Emirate of Dubai alone. In the United Arab Emirates there are over 8 million work migrants, constituting over 95% of the country's private workforce. They work for a very low wage in construction, or as servants. Most of these workers are victims of human trafficking or forced labor. But from the moment they enter, they are in effect kidnapped and actually become slaves. Their passports are taken away, their employers change the contracts unilaterally, they suffer physical and sexual abuse, and the salary promised to them as a lure is not paid. Many women are kidnapped for the sex industry. Outwardly, the governments of the UAE cluck their tongues and occasionally expel a pimp who is caught, but in fact traffickers in women work under protection of the government, which sells itself as a consumer's paradise, where human beings are also a consumer good. These widespread abuses are consistently documented. There's a reason why since 2017 the US State Department has once again acknowledged that the UAE does not meet minimal standards of the fight against human trafficking. The European Parliament also announced this year, a few months before the festive peace agreement was signed and the Festival of Tourism and Cooperative Projects between Israel and the UAE began, that many countries in the Middle East are not implementing the international standards to fight human trafficking. Countries such as Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, UAE, and Lebanon are considered to be the worst offenders. The most alarming development that we have witnessed is the trafficking of women for slavery. In other words, one of the main cooperative projects involving Israel and the UAE that has recently begun is the provision of clients of prostitution on the part of Israel, and prostitution services on the part of Dubai. Apparently many of the Israeli men who are traveling to Dubai these days in the guise of businessmen are aware of that. But anyone who is unwilling to collaborate with the exploitation industry should be aware, a trip to Dubai, and certainly work with Dubai, is like standing on the sidelines during the course of a gang raid. Thanks for watching. If you like the video, be sure to hit the subscribe button.